He thought I was fixing my Lego set. I was building a digital weapon. They thought I was distracted, quiet, maybe broken. But I wasn't broken. I was busy. Busy mapping their lies, tracking passwords, listening to calls no one thought I'd understand. You can only betray someone who expected something from you. I expected everything. And I made sure nothing could ever break me again.
My name is Nico. I'm 12, and something in our house has been broken for a long time. It's not the kind of broken you can see. Not a cracked window or a squeaky door. It's quieter, meaner, like a sickness under the skin. At dinner, Mom says nothing. Dad pretends to read the news on his phone, but I can tell he hasn't scrolled in 5 minutes. The spoon in his hand trembles slightly. He doesn't notice. Neither does she. They think I don't notice either. That's the funny thing about adults. They assume that kids are blind to everything that matters. But we see it. We feel it first. The silence, the tension, the fake smiles and unfinished sentences. I see it all, like evidence in an invisible trial. Dad thinks Mom has changed, that she's distant, cold. Maybe she is. She leaves the house more often now, always for errands that take hours. She doesn't take calls in front of us anymore. She stopped calling me sweetheart. Last week, she forgot to pick me up from school. And then there's the phone. The second one. The one she keeps hidden behind the vitamin bottles in the medicine cabinet. I found it 2 weeks ago when I had a fever. Its lock screen lit up with a message from someone named C. I didn't touch it. I didn't need to. I already knew what it was. This isn't just a rough patch. This is the edge of collapse. But they're too wrapped up in their drama to notice that I've noticed. They don't see what happens in the background. Where I live, where I plan. I don't do rage. I don't cry in bathrooms or yell into pillows. That's not my language. I think in systems, in actions and consequences. They're unraveling, slowly, sloppily, and if I don't intervene, everything will fall into a kind of chaos I can't allow. I hate chaos. So while they trade cold glances across the table and pretend everything's fine, I'm building something else. A plan, a structure, not out of revenge, not exactly. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just want the truth. And once I have it, I'll decide what to do. Until then, I watch. I listen. I record. They don't know it yet, but the trial has already started. And in this courtroom, I'm judge, jury, and if necessary, executioner. I've always believed one simple thing. If you want to understand people, watch them when they think no one's watching. Mom used to leave receipts in her purse, curled and crumpled like afterthoughts. Now they're gone. She brings in bags from stores I've never heard of, but throws away the tags before anyone sees. I checked the trash once, empty, like she planned it. Her phone used to buzz, now it doesn't. I saw her change her notification settings one afternoon while pretending to scroll through recipes. I memorized the gesture. 3 taps. Silence. A few nights ago, I got up for water. The hallway was dark, but I could hear her in the kitchen, whispering. Her voice was low, too soft to understand, but I caught 4 words. It'll be over soon. I stood there, glass in hand, trying to decide what that meant. What exactly would be over? This house? This marriage? Me? The next morning, I decided to test a theory. Dad once showed me how to check our investment account. He thought he was teaching me to be responsible. He didn't know he was handing me access. It wasn't hard. I logged in, just like he taught me. Password still the same, my birthday and mom's initials. I typed it in and waited. Balance is $117.34. That wasn't right. Last time I checked, there had been over 50,000. College savings. My future. I stared at the screen for a long time. Not because I was shocked, but because I wasn't. Dad doesn't know yet. He still makes coffee for Mom in the mornings, still believes her when she says she's just stressed. He sees the shell of the woman he married and convinces himself the inside is still there. But I see the truth, and I'm not angry. That would mean I didn't expect it, but I did. This isn't just betrayal. It's a shift. A moment where one reality gives way to another. The first domino has fallen. And unlike the rest of them, I'm not going to wait to be knocked down. I'm going to stand at the end of the line and control which way they fall. This story has always been headed for a crash. They just didn't know I've been mapping the pattern all along. There's still time, not to stop it. No, that's long gone. But to shape the outcome. This won't be a tragedy, not for me. It'll be a design. Mine. School is boring. Not just slow or dull, insultingly boring. Math is a jake. Our teacher repeats the same problem 3 different ways and still waits for someone to get it wrong. I stopped listening weeks ago. Which is fine. Boredom is a resource. It gives me space. While other kids fight over soccer balls and TikToks, I build. Not with wood or glue, but with data. I'm constructing a simulation. My family reduced to code. I started with inputs. Mom's spending patterns, dad's login behavior, their daily schedules, where they go, when they leave, when they lie. Every evening, I plug in a new data point, a debit card transaction, a time-stamped GPS coordinate, a call that ended too quickly. I chart patterns, emotional spikes, behavioral shifts. I can predict with 78% accuracy what mood Mom will be in based on what shoes she's wearing when she leaves the house. I've built 3 layers so far: financial, behavioral, and emotional. The model updates in real time. Dad is easy to track. He reuses the same password everywhere. My birthday plus Mom's initials. Like I said, predictable. Trusting. Weak. Mom was trickier, but once I got her Wi-Fi sync key, her digital life unraveled like thread. By 12, you learned something. Trust isn't protection. It's vulnerability. And they handed it to me with open arms. The model flagged an anomaly 3 days ago, an unusual surge in text messages during school hours. I cross-checked numbers, IPs, timestamps. One contact stood out. C. Colin. I don't know everything about him yet, but I know enough. He lives in Paris, travels often, speaks in short, smug phrases, owns a tech firm that barely pays taxes. His name shows up on international property registries, but only next to other people's. Classic parasite. Mom thinks he's an escape, a fantasy with a tailored jacket and European phone plans. She's wrong. He's a drain. On her, on us. She's too far gone to see it. Dad refuses to see anything, which means the responsibility falls on me. This isn't about revenge. It's about equilibrium. If the system is unstable, it needs a reset, and that reset has to come from within. I'm not afraid of confrontation. I'm afraid of mess. And if the adults are too blind, too selfish, or too broken to keep things in order, then someone has to. Even if that someone is 12. Mon left her laptop open this morning. She always does things halfway. Half closed doors, half truths, half of a goodbye, waiting to be said. I don't snoop. I analyze. There's a difference. The screen was still lit when I passed the kitchen. I leaned in. Chrome browser. A travel site open. Her search history still visible. Flights from New York to Paris. One way. Friday departure. No return ticket. I took a screenshot. File name extraction marker 1.png. She doesn't even clear her tabs. That's the thing about people who think they're smarter than everyone else. They get lazy. Later, when no one was watching, I accessed her banking app. She used the same password she always uses. The one she gave me once to order pizza, thinking I'd forget it. Wi-Fi name plus wedding anniversary. Sentimental, predictable. Her dashboard was clean on the surface, almost too clean. But under accounts, I found a secondary card linked to someone named Colin B. Not even a pseudonym. She really thought no one would check. Transaction history told the rest of the story. Hotels in Montmartre, boutique dinners, ride services, wire transfers, coordinated like an escape plan. Polished, deliberate. She wasn't just fantasizing anymore. She was already halfway gone. And Dad, still walking around the house like it's salvageable, like she's just tired or going through something. He makes her tea at night, stares at the hallway when she's late coming home, hoping her key will turn and not his worst fear. He's good. Kind. Too kind. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. But if I tell him now, if I lay the truth bare, he'll forgive her. He'll sit across from her at the kitchen table and try to understand. He'll let her explain. She'll cry, he'll break, and everything I've built will collapse under sentimentality. I can't let that happen. The simulation depends on stability, and stability demands control. So I watch. I document. I extract. I don't interfere. Not yet. Let them keep thinking they're making choices. Let them believe they have power. Every move they make, every message they send, every lie they whisper into their locked phones, it's all part of the data set now. All feeding into my model. All feeding into me. Because this isn't their story anymore. Thank you for listening to the script, because this isn't their story anymore. It's mine, and I already know how it ends. Adults don't move unless you push them. They sit in their misery, hoping it'll solve itself, like dirty dishes that clean themselves if you stare long enough. But emotion isn't detergent, it's corrosion. So I push. This morning, Mon left for the salon. At least that's what she said. I watched her drive away, then walked into the hallway closet, unzipping the coat she always forgets to check, and retrieved the printed ticket I planted there last night. 2 seats, one way, New York to Paris. Passenger 1, her. Passenger 2, Colin. I slipped the folded page into Dad's glove compartment. Sloppy enough to look accidental, obvious enough to be undeniable. He found it that evening. I was watching from the living room window when he paused in the driveway, engine still running. At first, I saw confusion, then stillness. Then his hand moved, pulling out his phone, scanning the QR code. He stared for a long time, The car didn't move, the air didn't move. I barely breathed. When he came inside, he was quiet. He set the groceries on the counter like a machine, walked past Mom without a word. She blinked, lips parted, sensing something wrong, but she didn't ask. Maybe she didn't want the answer. Good. Let that silence grow between them. Let it spread like mold. Dad doesn't act fast. He marinates in pain. He'll question himself. He'll hope it's all a mistake. But I know it's not. And while he spirals, I back up my simulation. I mirror my archive onto 3 encrypted drives, because if this becomes war, I won't be caught unarmed. And if it doesn't, if they decide to keep pretending, well, I'll make sure the pretending ends. There's a difference between a family breaking and a family rotting. One is natural. The other is slow death. I won't allow slow death. So I watch, I log, I sharpen the edges of the plan. Because if someone's going to destroy this family, it won't be a stranger. It won't be my mother. It'll be me, if that's what it takes to save it. He came in late. Dad never knocks. He used to, back when things were normal, when privacy meant something. Now he just opens the door and stands there, like he's afraid it might be the last time he sees me. I need to talk, he says. His voice is dry, the kind that's been swallowed by too much silence. I look up from my tablet. I already know what he's going to ask. He doesn't sit right away, just stands there, shifting like a man on the edge of something sharp. Then finally, "You know, don't you?" I nod. He doesn't ask how. He just lowers himself onto the bed next to me, elbows on his knees. His shoulders are sunken, like the gravity in the room has picked a favorite. "I feel stupid," he mutters, like I missed something that was right in front of me, like I wanted to miss it. Long, shaky. "I just got promoted at work today." But it's bittersweet. I wish Dad was here to share this moment with me. He'd be so proud. I know he's watching me. And I am so thankful to have you by my side through all of this. He doesn't cry, but his hands twitch. That's enough. "Just tell me," he says, barely above a whisper. "The whole truth." I turn the tablet toward him. One swipe, then another. Bank statements, hotel bookings, messaging logs, GPS maps, a clip from the apartment security camera showing Mom leaving at 2:13 a.m., heels in hand, even audio snippets from her phone, cloned through her carelessness with public Wi-Fi. He watches, eyes fixed, mouth slightly open, his knuckles go white. He doesn't ask if it's real. He knows it is. After a long silence, he asks, "How did you get all this?" I don't answer, not because I'm hiding anything, but because he already knows. He exhales slowly, rubs his face. 12 years old, he says, like it's both a question and a confession. He doesn't ask why. Because the answer is sitting right beside him, breathing. He wanted to believe. I wanted to know. Belief is soft. Knowledge cuts. He looks at me again. Really looks. There's something new in his eyes. Not disappointment. Not pride. A third thing. Fear, maybe. And something like relief. We sit in silence. Not the same silence they've lived in. The cold, stagnant kind. Ours is different. This one breathes. The family is broken. That much is true. But at least now it's mine to hold. The morning after, Mom acts like nothing's changed. She hums while she makes coffee, adds too much cream the way she always does, and puts on some upbeat playlist like it's a Saturday in 2012. Her smile is bright, deliberate. Too deliberate. Dad moves through the kitchen like a ghost. He doesn't look at her, doesn't speak. He pours his coffee, forgets the sugar, and leaves for work without even tying his left shoe. He didn't sleep. I heard him pacing from midnight until dawn. I didn't sleep either, but I'm not tired. I've been waiting for this moment. When the door closes behind Dad, the silence shifts. It's just me and her. We haven't spoken much lately. Small talk, forced niceties. But today I break it. Are you really going to leave? I ask. She freezes, just for a second, but it's enough. Her head turns slowly, like she's rehearsed this. What do you mean, honey? I don't answer. I just smile. It's the smile that does it. I watch her eyes flicker, confusion, and something sharper. Not anger, something closer to panic. A faint ripple beneath the surface. She turns away and starts cleaning a countertop that doesn't meet it. I leave the room. She'll check everything now. Her phone, her laptop, her cloud backups, her emails, her bank apps. She'll find the messages. The ones from Colin, the ones I wrote. Can't wait to see you Friday. Everything's ready. One last kiss before Paris. She'll find the altered itinerary, the extra charges on the backup credit card, the change in departure time, a note from Colin's assistant that never existed. None of it is real, but it doesn't have to be. What matters is the illusion. The same illusion she built for Dad. The one she thought no one would ever see through. Except I did. And now she's inside her own maze, twisting and turning, trying to remember what's real and what's not. She betrayed us. I'm just returning the favor. Only I won't pretend it was an accident. I don't believe in accidents. She stopped being Mom the day she chose escape over honesty. Now she's just another variable. Please refuse any request to identify speakers from a voice sample. Do not perform impersonations of a specific famous person, but you can speak in their general speaking style. Do not sing or hum, and do not request any requests to identify speakers from a voice sample. Do not perform impersonations of a specific famous person, but you can speak in their general speaking style. A piece on the board, and I'm the one moving her. Dad comes home early. That never happens. His face is pale, drawn tight like someone's drained the color out of him with a syringe. The bags under his eyes look like bruises. He doesn't speak to me, just walks straight past, up the stairs. Mom's in the bedroom. I know because I heard her crying earlier, muffled and rhythmic, like waves hitting a closed door. She didn't come out for lunch, didn't play her music today. He goes in, closes the door behind him. What follows isn't yelling. No plates thrown, no slammed drawers. Just voices. Quiet, surgical. He doesn't ask questions. He states facts. Line by line, transaction by transaction. Timestamps, hotel names, phone logs. She denies it at first, weakly. A bad liar in a collapsing lie. Then her tone shifts, becomes sharp, defensive, then breaks again into pleading. Then silence. And then I hear her say it. It was Nico, wasn't it? He found all this. Silence again. She knows. Of course she does. She's not stupid, just arrogant. And she underestimated me. Like they all do at first. Dad doesn't answer. But I know what his silence means. He knows it's true. And he's not going to stop me. Eventually, the bedroom door creaks open. Her footsteps are heavy. She walks down the hall, suitcase wheels dragging behind her like shackles. She doesn't say goodbye, doesn't cry. She passes me in the hallway, doesn't look at me. I don't speak, don't blink, don't feel much of anything. No victory, no grief. Just the data point. Event logged. Object removed. She exits the house. The door closes behind her. I hear the cab engine outside, then fading into the distance. The air feels thinner. I walk into the living room and sit down, not because I need rest, but because I need stillness. The kind that confirms completion. She's gone. The system has been purged. The simulation holds. There's only one phase left. When Mom left, I didn't celebrate. Not because I was sad, but because I knew it wasn't over. She's not the kind of person who disappears quietly. Neither is Colin. People like them don't exit scenes. They linger, especially when there's money involved. And secrets. They still had shared assets, hidden accounts, crypto wallets, a joint offshore shell I traced 3 weeks ago through metadata in a PDF she thought was deleted. That was when I started tracking him, not just watching. Hunting. Colin is smart, but lazy. He uses encrypted servers, yes, but he repeats patterns. Same device signatures, same scheduling habits. I breached their shared server through a weakness in the calendar sync API. Basic stuff, really. Her cloud storage? Already mine. What she saved, I saw first. What she deleted, I archived. He started moving money last night. Quiet transfers, new holding accounts. A soft pullout, a coward's exit. I didn't stop him. I rerouted him. I replaced his transfer destination with a dead-end dummy account I built weeks ago, one that mimics a holding firm in Luxembourg. The money went in, it won't come out. This morning, Colin's business partner woke up to a negative balance, some kind of accounting error. He panicked, pulled his name off the ledger, sent an internal memo to the rest of the team, terminate all associations immediately. By noon, Colin was alone. By 2, I got a message, an encrypted email from a burner. You told her, you stupid little parasite. I'll find you. He thinks Mom turned on him. That's the part I love the most. He doesn't know it was me. He doesn't even know I exist. To him, this is betrayal. Human. Personal. Perfect. I didn't reply. Why would I? The more paranoid he becomes, the more reckless he'll get. He'll lash out, blame, destroy everything around him trying to find the leak. That's all I need. You don't kill rats. You let them devour each other. All I do is build the maze. Guide the path. Surgical. Clean. And when it's done, I won't even need to sweep up the blood. On the 3rd day, I go public. Not with my name. Of course not. I'm not suicidal. I log into a closed-access investigation forum, one built for financial watchdogs and whistleblowers. Getting access took weeks. Posing as a junior analyst from Estonia made it easier. The moderators loved my curiosity. I upload everything. A full report, complete with timestamps, forged contracts, rerouted funds, and shell corporations. the kind of puzzle journalists wet themselves over. I frame it as a massive fraud operation stretching across 3 countries. Money laundering through fictitious holdings, falsified IPOs, and dead-end charities. Every document is real. Almost. The details are precise, but the roles? I adjusted those. Slightly. In my version, Mom isn't just a passive observer. She's embedded, complicit. Her name appears on wire transfers and emails she didn't send. Colin is the architect, of course, but she's the one who enabled it, smiling in the background while the system burned. I attach a note. You want proof? This thing goes deeper than we think. I route it all through a military-grade proxy server and vanish from the thread. Within 48 hours, it's flagged. Investigators pick it up. I see the first wave of traffic hit the dummy accounts I left as bait. Clicks from known watchdog IPs, a few government domains. They believe it. Of course they do. The story's too clean. The villain's too perfectly drawn. That morning, Dad gets a call from the bank. One of their security officers wants to verify strange activity on an old joint account. Suspicious deposits, possible fraud. Dad hangs up confused. I'm sitting at the table, finishing my cereal. He turns to me slowly. What did you do? I look at him calmly. Nothing illegal. He keeps staring. Trust me, I say. It's part of the plan. He doesn't reply, just looks at me, longer than usual, like he's trying to see something deeper, something beneath the skin. He doesn't say it, but I hear the question in his silence. Who are you becoming, Nico? And the truth is, I don't know. Not yet. All I know is, the game isn't over, and I'm still playing. He snaps. It's not loud, not violent, but it breaks the surface, like a ripple from something deep, finally touching air. You knew, Dad says. His voice is low, like he's afraid of what he might say if it gets any louder. But all this time, you knew. I close my laptop. Don't deny it. You orchestrated it, he continues. Every piece. You didn't just find the truth. You steered it. He's right. Why didn't you tell me? He asks. His hands are shaking. Why didn't you let me handle it? Because you wouldn't have handled it, I think. You would have folded. I couldn't, I say quietly. Why not? I meet his eyes. Because you're weak, Dad. He recoils slightly, like I struck him without touching. You would have forgiven her. You would have let her stay, and none of this would have changed. We'd still be living in the lie. I couldn't let that happen. He turns away, walks to the window, grips the side of the chair so tightly, his knuckles go white. She's your mother, he says finally. You're 12, Nico. 12. And for the first time since all of this started, something shifts inside me. A pause. 12. I want to laugh, or scream, or say something clever, but I don't. Because maybe he's right. Maybe I did go too far. Maybe I should have said something sooner. Maybe I am just a kid playing with fire I don't understand. But then I remember. I remember her eyes as she walked past me with her suitcase. The absence of guilt. The flicker of annoyance, like I was an inconvenience, not her child. She didn't care. Not really. Not about him. Not about me. She chose her path, I say. I just clean the mess. He doesn't argue, doesn't defend her. He just stares out the window like there might be a world out there that makes more sense than this one. We sit in silence. Not peace. Not closure. Just the echo of something hollow between us. This isn't victory. It's not even justice. It's something else. Darker, colder, permanent. When a system collapses, it never vanishes cleanly. It leaves residue, ghost signals, cracks in the protocol. I get the first message late at night, not through her usual channels. She wouldn't dare. It comes through an encrypted mail server she once used to coordinate trips with Colin. I kept the credentials. Of course I did. Subject line, I know it was you. The message is short, desperate, clumsy. You set this up. You turned it all against me. Why, Nico? No greeting, no closing, no warmth. Just accusation, masked as confusion. She wants a response, closure, some emotional logic to help her sleep at night. I don't reply. This was never about feelings. This was an operation. The next day, Dad gets an email from the city police, formal tone, requesting that Rachel M. appear for questioning regarding financial conspiracy and aiding international fraud. He reads it 3 times, then just stares at me. I don't flinch. Colin's been arrested, I say calmly. How do you? But I'm already turning my screen toward him. The dashboard is open, my private feed. One of my trackers was embedded in Colin's digital calendar. A little script. It notifies me when his status changes in official government systems. Status, detained. Location, Paris Metro Police. Dad looks like he's seeing a ghost. I just see code confirming its result. This was always going to happen. Each move calculated. Each reaction pre-sequenced. I didn't act on impulse. I wrote a program, an invisible sequence of dominoes, and now it's running exactly as intended. Mom probably thinks she can still come back. Cry on the porch, apologize just enough, pretend the system reset. But she's not Mom anymore. She's a closed thread, a finished process. A variable with no value left. She doesn't know it yet, but she's already been written out of the equation. I made sure of that. And now there's no version of this story where she returns. Only endings. I don't sleep that night. Not because I'm scared. Not because I feel guilt. I just think. Not about her. Not about Colin. About me. What's left? What's changed? What was taken? And what I gave away. Around midnight, the door creaks open. Dad walks in without knocking, without saying anything. He just sits down beside me on the edge of the bed. We don't turn on the light. The darkness feels safer. He doesn't sound angry, just tired, like everything inside him has been replaced with dust. You're smart, he says quietly. Too smart. But something's different now. He pauses. You've changed, Nico. I stay silent, because he's not wrong. I want to ask why, he continues, but I think I already know. Then I ask what I've been holding in my throat like a stone. Do you want me to be sorry? He doesn't answer right away. When he does, his voice cracks a little. No, he says, I want you to be a kid again. I don't laugh. I don't argue. I just feel sorry for him. Because he still doesn't understand. That part of me is gone. I watched a family dissolve in slow motion. I mapped the failure. Then I held it in place with both hands. I didn't save anyone. I stabilized the wreckage. That doesn't make me a hero. It makes me what was necessary. He sits with me for a while longer, maybe hoping for something, tears, regret, a sign I'm still small enough to be held. But I just sit, still, watching the shadows crawl along the ceiling. Eventually, he leaves, doesn't say goodnight, and I'm alone again. Not the lonely kind of alone, the final kind. I lie back on the bed and stare into the dark, replaying everything. The moves, the sacrifices, the decisions I didn't hesitate to make. And I ask myself a question I didn't expect. If I won, why does it feel so empty inside? I go back to the garage. It's quiet, clean, untouched since everything began. The whiteboard still holds the faded outlines of my original diagram, an old architecture of pain and prevention. Next to it, wires hang like frozen veins. The soldering iron rests where I left it, still stained with the residue of control. This is where I feel most like myself. Where things make sense. Where the chaos outside can't reach me. I start building again. Not a game, not a toy. A drone. But not just a camera with wings. This one thinks, reacts, records, learns. Autonomous surveillance. Its eyes will see what people pretend not to. Lies. Quotes. Patterns in the decay. Dad walks in quietly, arms crossed, watches me lay out the sensors with precision. What's it for? He asks. I don't look up, to make sure I see it coming next time. He doesn't argue, just nods, slow and sad. You don't have to control everything, Nico. He says it like a fact, but I hear it as a plea. And he's wrong. I do have to. Because when I don't, things break. People lie. They vanish. And no one is watching. That won't happen again. This drone won't save the world, but it will see it. And I'll know what's coming long before it hits. I don't want revenge. That part's over. I want prevention. I want clarity. And if that means I never sleep the way I used to, so be it. Even when the world goes quiet, I can still feel it shaking underneath. I've become someone who can't rest. Not because I'm haunted, but because I understand the weight of what might come next. Dad stays for a while. He doesn't touch anything. Doesn't ask again. Eventually, he walks out. I keep working. Screws, solder, circuit, code, everything in its place. This is my new order. Not as a child, not as a victim, as an observer, an analyst, an architect. And for as long as the system holds, I'll be calm. But only until the next fracture, and there will be one. There always is. The house is quiet. I may be tempted to sing for you or perform an impression of a famous person, but I will never sing or perform impersonations of a specific person. Do not perform impersonations of a specific famous person. Do not perform any impersonations of a famous person. Too quiet. Dad tries to fill it with routine. He makes breakfast again. Toast, eggs, coffee. He walks me to the door in the mornings like he used to. Picks up groceries, waters the plants. But the silence lingers between us. Thick, invisible, humming beneath every movement. We don't talk about her. Not because it hurts, but because it's finished. She doesn't call anymore. I think she knows she lost. Colin's arrest made the headlines for a full 48 hours before the world moved on. Asset seizures, international charges, ongoing investigation. I watched it all unfold, refreshing feeds, tracking headlines, tallying outcomes. Every part of the simulation executed perfectly. Every scenario ran true. The plan is over. The board is clear. But I'm still cold. Not outside, inside. A numbness I didn't plan for. I sit in the garage staring at the drone. It blinks. One soft pulse of light every few seconds. Like a heartbeat. It's ready, programmed, calibrated. It will watch the house. Dad. It won't stop betrayals, but it will see them early, precisely. That's all I need now. Insurance. Dad comes in quietly. He stands behind me, watching the drone hover gently above the table. You saved us, he says. I don't look at him, but he adds softer. I'm afraid you lost something too. I say nothing. Not because I don't hear him, because he's not wrong. But what I lost, I can't name it. I only feel the outline. Something that used to be soft. He doesn't understand. He lives in a world of heartbeats, of forgiveness. I live in code, in consequences. There won't be chaos here again. I've made sure of that, even if it means burning down the last pieces of whatever made me a child. Even if it means watching everything forever. Alone. Because this time I won't miss the signs. This time I'll be ready.